What up, guys? So today we got a question from Crystal, who is a 41-year-old jiu-jitsu practitioner. She's been training jiu-jitsu for about 2 years now, and she trains pretty consistently, 4 to 5 days a week. And for any of the other women in her gym, she pretty much holds her own with everyone except this one young girl who is about 16 years old, who's 3 inches taller than her and about 10 to 15 pounds heavier. And she's an athletic young girl, right? Whenever they roll, Crystal feels like she just doesn't know any jiu-jitsu. She's like, I can't even imagine that I've been training for 2 years. This girl just dismantles her left and right. Now, she's been training a little bit longer than her, and she's also younger than her, right? That which all plays a role, and she's heavier, the whole deal. But Crystal's struggling. And she always says she leaves the round feeling defeated, like I've never learned anything in my nearly 2 years of training on the mat, and no matter how all the other rounds went, right? And she says, how do I change my mindset to learn to enjoy the rounds with this girl who is, kicking my butt? She says she tries to remind herself that she's been training longer and all this stuff. But again, and her coaches tell her she's doing well, but for her, she's struggling with it. So Crystal, thank you for the question, and let's get into it. So I want to tell you about me being in a similar situation. So years ago when I was a purple belt, I switched gyms and came to train at the gym that I'm at now. Now, at my old gym, I had sort of worked my way up the ladder, and I was pretty much top dog. I was like the best guy in the room most of the time, right? And I remember when I switched gyms, I came to the gym, and all of a sudden, one of my coaches at the time, Kyle, was a black belt, he beat the crap out of me every single roll. He had an incredibly nasty guard game, and his top pressure was really good too, and he had amazing passing. So it's like I couldn't do anything, and my guard passing was like my best thing, and I would get on top, and he would just triangle me. I spent more time in that man's crotch than I plan to admit. So when I would get on the mats, I would avoid him all the time, because I remember when I first got there, I was going from being top dog to all of a sudden I'm just getting crushed. Now, I know you're not in the top dog position, you've never been there, but nonetheless, you're getting into the situation where it sucks. You get in there and you're feeling pretty good, you roll with everybody pretty good, but now you're rolling this one person, and they just kick your butt and make you feel like you're just jiu-jitsu stupid, right? Been there. Well, I don't know what caused it, but for whatever reason, I wisened up, right? Maybe just eventually decided I needed to take this medicine, right? It's a bitter medicine, but it was good. It's good for me. And I made sure to roll with Kyle every single day I got to the gym. It was like every day. And a lot of times I would typically do it one of my first rounds. It's like, let me get this, let me do this, right? And when I started rolling with him, eventually when I sort of decided that I needed to roll with him every single round, I stopped getting frustrated with the round, because I knew I was gonna get my butt kicked, right? Of course I'm gonna get my butt kicked. He's been training longer than me. He's had more experience than me. Of course, he's supposed to. He's my coach, right? And so I just purposely went over there, and every roll I'd go with him and get my butt whooped. And I stopped getting frustrated about it, and I started trying to think about what was going on during those rolling sessions, right? Like what was happening, what was he doing, and really trying to be objective about it, besides being emotional and beating myself up over it. That never does anything good, right? When you go, oh, I suck, I'm no good, I don't even know jiu-jitsu, it's a bad mindset, versus saying, all right, I got my butt whooped. Why did that happen? What did that person do? And again, you should be rolling with that young girl. As long as you're not getting injured, you should be rolling with her and having that same sort of mindset, that same sort of approach, thinking about, hey, what's going on? What is she doing? What kind of positions are working? What's not working? Like I remember finding, because Kyle, he would kill my half guard, and he was doing it by popping up and cutting through. And I noticed that every time he tried to cut through, if I squared my hips up to stop the cut through, I was good. But every time he popped up, if I didn't make that adjustment, just blitzed through my half guard. And so I started to recognize that, right? And as I roll with him more and more, I got better from it. And I got better against him because of it, because I'm rolling with him more. It's like many of my students when they roll with me. I've got blue belts and purple belts in my gym that give me more trouble than some of the purple belts or some of the black belts I compete against. It's not because they're better than the black belts. It's because they train with me enough to know me and know my style, and they intuitively develop a sense of how to deal with Chewy. They figure out what works through trial and error. And so what I would tell you is that younger girl with more experience who's beating the crap out of you, again, as long as you're not getting injured from those rolls, where they're wild or crazy, I would tell you every time you get on the mat, try to roll with her. It's not gonna be fun. As I said, it's a bitter medicine. But when you roll with her, do not do the whole you suck thing and get down on yourself and This is the way that it's supposed to be. You're supposed to have people that are better than you. Great, you're hanging with all these other people. Now you got this person that's right above you. That's fantastic. That's a good thing because that's going to force you to get better, right? When you have good people around you, people that are better than you, they force you to get better. Just by and large through training with them. And so it's a beautiful thing to have that person in there. Look at it as a blessing and not something bad. Imagine when you first came into the gym, right? You didn't have any big expectations for yourself. You came in as a brand new white belt. You're like, I don't know what I'm doing, so let's see what happens. Take that mindset back. When you roll with that person, don't go into it with any expectations. Oh, I'm hanging with all these other people. I should be hanging with this person. No, this person's a different person. They're a different athlete. They're pretty tough. Go into it with no expectations. Just see what you can do. And after it's over, look at it with no emotions. Just, what could I do next time to improve on that? Or did I do a little bit better this round than last round? That kind of thing. Keep that cool, calm, collected, problem-solving mindset that you need for jiu-jitsu with you rather than sort of the overly emotional, self-deprecating, beating yourself up over it, because that's never going to help you. That's not what you want, all right? So anyways, that is my idea, right? Do like I did, learn to embrace that and use that person for their skill and get better because of them. And those roles that you have with them, those are great learning experiences. Consider it a blessing, not a curse. And Crystal, good luck to you. I'll talk to you guys next time.